Joining me right now to look at that, as well as economics, is Budget Committee ranking member, Missouri Congressman Jason Smith. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Great to see you, Maria, as always.
First, what about this swap and Griner back in the U.S.? What are your thoughts?
You know, we're glad to have her back home. As any American that's being held by another country who's not our friend, it's welcoming to have her back home. But, you know, trading an arm dealer for her, it's not fun to play with the Russians. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Well, we are looking this morning at worries once again about the macro story in the economy. A lot of expectations that we are going to see a recession next year. You are the ranking member on the Budget Committee, soon to be chairman of that committee. What are your thoughts on the macroeconomic story in 2023?
You know, I'll tell you, you just look at the constant spending that's going on. We've seen more than $10 trillion of new spending that's came out of this administration, this Democrat-controlled House and Senate. That's not helping the economy. The highest inflation in over 40 years. It's gone up 14.4% since Joe Biden's taken the oath of office. You're seeing companies after companies letting employees go, reducing their jobs. It's not looking good, and it's starting to catch up.
And we continue to see inflation at elevated levels. Tomorrow we'll get the Producer Price Index. Do you believe inflation has peaked? We're at 7.7% on the CPI, and this is one of the issues that are cutting into people's ability to spend and to save. Your thoughts on the inflation story and what you can do about it in terms of stopping some of the reckless spending?
Well, I don't think inflation's done by any means. There's hundreds of billions of dollars that has been appropriated that has not actually been spent or that's been moved throughout the economy. That's having a huge impact. The best thing that we can do, Maria, is to stop this crazy spending. One big aspect is this huge omnibus spending bill that's trying to be proposed right now. The White House, the House and Senate Democrats are trying to increase spending by more than 9%. It's outrageous. The American people spoke in November. They picked a Republican House of Representatives. We need to do the appropriations in January when Kevin McCarthy is Speaker of the House.
Well, I mean, look, you make a great point, but we talk about this all the time and the fact that Republicans have gone along with all of this spending, right? I mean, look at the infrastructure bill, look at the CHIPS Act, and you've got some colleagues of yours who have decided to go along with Democrats in agreeing to this and, in effect, getting it through. So do you think we're going to see a change in that regard in the new year?
Oh, we're going to see a big change, but is it going to be easy, Maria? It absolutely isn't. When you're looking at 222 Republicans in the House of Representatives, every vote's going to count. But let me just give you an example. If you do a continuing resolution just for funding to the end of the year at fiscal year 22 levels, that would save us $105 billion with a B dollars. So that would not be increasing spending of 9%. That would actually be reducing by $105 billion. That is just a suggestion that I throw out there. Let's try to do something to help this economy.
Well, I mean, look, this administration is jamming through its climate change agenda, and now Republican lawmakers are warning that corporate ESG policies could be breaking federal antitrust laws. Florida Bankers Association President and CEO Alex Sanchez was with me yesterday on this program. Here's what he said. Watch.
The Biden administration wants a new environmental law, pass it through Congress, not through regulatory actions through bank regulators. The bankers should not be the climate police. I mean, you know, it will kill Main Street because we're going to have to do carbon emissions reports on our small business customers.
Congressman, what about that? The ESG policy and the climate change agenda is a whole of government approach. Every agency appears to be involved.
You know, it's crazy. These corporations should be focused on increasing jobs, increasing wages for their employees, not all this woke politics, the ESG policies. They need to be focused on the bottom line of their shareholders. I think there's a true issue, the fact that all these woke executives have shed the American identity for their corporations, and they've become beholden to ESG. They've become beholden to China. And I think with the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, we're going to have every committee looking into those policies.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do about the IRS, Congressman? Because I thought this op-ed in the Journal today was great. The IRS goes after your side hustle. And it's basically saying that they're digging around to discover if you reported that extra $600 you made from selling grandma's heirlooms at your garage sale. I'm reading the editorial board's op-ed this morning. Biden wants to spend $80 billion for 87,000 new IRS agents. We talk about this all the time. Once that happens, you're going to have 166,000 IRS agents versus 15,000 border agents. Can you stop this?
You know, we're going to try our best. Kevin McCarthy said the first resolution that we'll put on the House floor is to rip away that $80 billion to the IRS that funds the 87,000 IRS agents. We're going to do that. Plus, whenever I'm the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, we're going to have some aggressive oversight over the IRS. I want to know, how did thousands of taxpayers' information get leaked at the same time this administration was pushing tax increases?
Yeah, and do you think you'll be able to stop the tax increases?
Absolutely. The House Ways and Means Committee will stop any tax increase this administration is trying to move forward on.
Congressman, it's great to have you this morning. Please come back soon. Thank you, Jason Smith, joining us this morning in D.C. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Maria.
We'll be right back.